If you had to pick one player to break out for Syracuse football next season, who would it be? Well, to me, it's Demetres Samuel Jr.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on this week's Poll Friday, I asked you all the question, who is Syracuse football's most likely breakout candidate? And that's what we're going to talk about here on today's show. And here were the choices for this week's Poll Friday. Most likely breakout candidate: Johntay Cook, a wide receiver that Syracuse got this offseason in the spring portal window from Texas and Washington. Syracuse's starting quarterback duo. So either Steve Angeli, the transfer from Notre Dame in the spring portal window, or Rickie from LSU, who Syracuse got in the fall portal window. Then you got Davian Kerr, a returning true sophomore defensive back for this team this upcoming season, likely going to be one of the starting corners for this team this upcoming season. And then you have Demetres Samuel Jr., a true freshman consensus four-star corner that can also play wide receiver. Now, Twitter and YouTube, they only allow 4 choices. Maybe I could have made other an option, because you can certainly make the case for another player to be a most likely breakout candidate. Guys like Yassine Willis at running back, Emmanuel Ross at wide receiver. Maybe you think it's an offensive lineman or defensive lineman, or maybe it's true freshman linebacker Antoine Delorier. Regardless, other was not an option this week, but if you feel differently other than those 4 or 5 players that I mentioned, feel free to comment in the comments section below, because I am definitely open to hearing more breakout players. And the results are in. There were over 400 votes on this week's Poll Friday, and the winner was Johntay Cook at 37% of the vote. In second place was the quarterback duo. In third place was Demetres Samuel Jr., and in fourth place was Davian Kerr. But like I said at the very top of this mini podcast, where I give away my opinion right off the bat, I have to disagree with the majority here. I think it is Demetres Samuel Jr. And I think I said earlier this week when we were talking about breakout candidates for this team this upcoming season that Johntay Cook was the most likely breakout candidate or something along those lines. But the more I thought it over the course of the week, the more I realized I think it's actually Demetres Samuel Jr. And I'm not taking anything away from Johntay Cook or any of the other choices. But think about what you need for a breakout to happen. You need 2 things: talent, because obviously you got to be good to break out. And number 2 is opportunity. You need to actually get the playing time. You need talent and opportunity to break out. So think about it with Demetres Samuel Jr. Does he have the talent? Well, he was a consensus 4-star recruit in the 2025 recruiting cycle. I get he's a true freshman, but sometimes true freshmen can be really good in their first season. We saw Murad Watson make true freshman All-American team last season before he transferred to Texas this offseason. So he's got talent. Consensus 4-star guy, nearly was a top 200 overall recruit in the country. That's pretty good, right? And also, he's got the opportunity. He's likely going to enter next season as the number 1 cornerback for Syracuse football. And he's also going to play a little bit of wide receiver, in my opinion, too. So I think he's got the 2 main ingredients you need for a potential breakout. And that's why out of any player on this team, I think the most likely breakout candidate is true freshman Demetres Samuel Jr. And I would love your input right now in the comment section below. Who do you think is the most likely breakout candidate for this team this upcoming season? Do you agree with my take that it's Demetres Samuel Jr., or do you think it's someone else? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Coming up, I'll tell you why I didn't go with the other three options. So that's coming up next on Locked On Syracuse. The NBA Finals are here, and the Indiana Pacers currently lead the Oklahoma City Thunder 1-0 in the series after another thrilling comeback by Indiana. And every night in these finals is going to deliver highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action, and FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And if you're new to FanDuel, guess what? It's the perfect time to sign up because you can head to FanDuel.com right now and place your first $5 bet. And guess what? If that first $5 bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. This is Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and on this week's Poll Friday, I asked you all the question, which player do you believe is most likely to break out for Syracuse football this upcoming season? You all voted Johntay Cook. However, I disagreed, saying it's Demetres Samuel Jr. So now that I told you all in the beginning why I believe Demetres Samuel, based on his talent and his opportunity, is the most likely player to break out, I'm going to tell you all why I didn't go with Johntay Cook, Syracuse's quarterbacks, or Davian Kerr. And to be very clear here, I'm not sitting here saying, well, now I don't think that these guys could break out. They're on this poll for a reason. I do think they're going to break out, but the question was, who's the most likely? And most likely means just one guy that we have to pick, or a duo that we got to pick, right? So why not Johntay Cook, in my opinion? Well, he's definitely got the talent. 2023 5-star recruit, right? There's talent there. Electric speed. We've gone over it here on this podcast. However, is he going to have the opportunity? Now, you might sit here and laugh at me. What do you mean? I go back to what Locked On football recruiting expert Brian Smith said earlier this offseason when Syracuse actually went out and got Johntay Cook, that he's a spring portal addition. So how long is it going to take for Johntay Cook to learn the offense and build chemistry with the quarterback? I don't know. So perhaps it's a scenario where Johntay Cook eventually is one of the starting wide receivers on this team. But maybe it doesn't happen until week 3 or week 4 or week 5. I don't know, right? Or maybe it is week 1. The point is that we don't necessarily know right off the bat what his opportunity is going to be. But I will say this. If Johntay Cook picks up the playbook quickly and he can develop chemistry with his quarterback quickly, then I think he would usurp Demetres Samuel Jr. on this list as the most likely breakout candidate for Syracuse football. Again, I'm just unsure about what his opportunity will be right off the bat for this team. And also, I just want to point out, is the quarterback play going to be good? It's not like they have Kyle McCord. The quarterbacks are also on this list as likely breakout candidates. The reason why they're on this list is because they haven't broken out yet. Kyle McCord already did when he was at Ohio State. Now, he got better when he went to Syracuse, but you get the point. Syracuse has an unproven quarterback coming up this upcoming season. He could be really good. He might not be. We don't know yet. That's the number one storyline of this entire offseason. It's the elephant in the room, and that impacts Johntay Cook. Well, that leads me to Syracuse quarterbacks. Why not the quarterback duo? Do they have talent? Yeah, they have talent. They were both 4-star recruits in high school. Steve Angeli had the opportunity to be Notre Dame's starting quarterback, and you don't get that opportunity by accident. There's a reason why he waited until the spring to transfer rather than the fall to transfer. Opportunity? Well, it's built in that one of Steve Angeli or Rickie Collins will be the starting quarterback. So they got talent, they got opportunity. What's the catch here? Why not them over Demetres Samuel? Well, how long is the leash going to be for either of these quarterbacks? They got Tennessee in week 1. What if they What if Steve Angeli wins the job and he struggles in week 1 against Tennessee? Will he start week 2? Probably. But then what if he struggles in week 2? Do they give him week 3? I don't know. How long is the leash? Because that directly impacts the amount of opportunities that they will be given. Yeah, one of them is going to start week 1, barring injury. But how long will that opportunity last? That is my question. And then why not Davian Kerr? Well, he's likely going to be a starting corner for Syracuse. And if he's not a starting corner, he's still going to play this upcoming year. And he started the final 4 games for Syracuse last season. True freshman, or not true freshman, was a true freshman last year, true sophomore this year, has some upside. Don't get me wrong. But I think Samuel is better. So it's a talent thing. It's not to say that Davian Kerr is not good. It's to say that I think Demetres Samuel is better. So that's why ultimately when I go through the list, Demetres Samuel versus Davian Kerr, Syracuse's quarterbacks, and Johntay Cook, ultimately I think each of them have a reason to not be a breakout candidate. Whereas with Demetres Samuel, it's kind of right there for him. He's probably going to be the number 1 corner. He's a consensus 4-star recruit. Let's see what he's got. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. I mean, if you agree with me, great. If you think I'm an idiot, feel free to let me know in the comments section below how much of an idiot I am and why it should be someone else. Comment your thoughts in the comment section below. As far as what is coming up on Locked On Syracuse in the near future, CBS Sports released their ACC most impactful transfers for this upcoming year. And so we will discuss what CBS had to say about Syracuse football. So that's what's coming up on Locked On Syracuse in the near future. That'll be either a Saturday or Sunday podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Syracuse your first listen today. And for your second listen, you can check out the Locked On Portal Show with football recruiting expert Brian Smith, who's got the latest rumors and signings each and every day. And you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal Podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Folks, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. If you like this podcast, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoy the podcast, be sure to hit subscribe. Tell all your friends about Locked On Syracuse, and I will see you all again soon.